When people think about success, it is inevitable to talk about goal setting. I mean, when you're asked what it means to be successful, I'm sure you would answer one of these: having a lot of money, having a fancy car or home, or working on things that you love, etc. etc. In other words, to most people, being successful is being able to achieve the goal you have in mind. But sometimes we focus too much on our goals that we forgot one important factor in achieving these goals: the necessary input to achieve the desired output. You see, if you want to do something, from buying your dream home to educating 1 billion people, keep one thing in mind. Always focus on the inputs, the activities that make the goal happen. The goal can be flexible. It can change. It can get bigger or smaller. It could even move in an entirely different direction. But the input must always stay the same. In this video, we're talking about why this mentality is so important and how you can apply it in your own life. Welcome to Thrivetastic. If you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? And as always, guys, give this video a thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm. What do you do if you want to make money? While there is no correct answer for this, we can tell you what not to do instead. Don't focus on money. Focus on the things that make money. This may seem simple to some and perplexing to others, so let's delve a little more. Money isn't a problem. Not when you have a lot of it, but when you have something that makes it. This is why 70% of lottery winners eventually go broke. They have the money, but not the thing that makes it. They have the output without any input. This is an equation that is bound to fail. They wind up squandering all of the money in a couple of years and have no way of obtaining it back. They simply lack the input required to achieve that outcome. If someone gave you $1 million right now, statistically you'd be more likely to die poor than wealthy. Think about how crazy that is. You might be wondering, how is that even possible? That's enough money to last a lifetime. And though it may be true, lottery winners stated the same thing. And look at them now. If you think that's a stretch, consider this another scenario. Imagine waking up with the body of a Greek god or goddess. How long do you think it'll take you to return to your original form? Because you currently lack the discipline and possibly the genetics to get that kind of body. Let's say we give you 6 to 12 months. The issue is never the outcome. Winners and losers have the same goal. After all, no one wakes up and desires a worse kind of life. So, should you completely disregard your goals? Of course not. But you're approaching goal setting incorrectly. Most people develop goals for themselves to help them feel better, such as I'll be rich in 5 years. I'll get shape next summer. When I'm 30, I'll buy my ideal home. When you say these things, you feel exceptional, as if half your work is already done. You can't wait for others to ask what you're up to so you can casually respond, "I'm busily establishing my empire." Because smart people realize that's not how goals work. Instead, they serve two functions. The first is to remind you of what you're working for, which everyone does from time to time. Not every day is special, and not every hour is productive. You can even go weeks without feeling like you're going somewhere. That's why it's important to remember what you're working for. You need the extra boost of motivation. And two, it will help you figure out your general direction. The second purpose of a goal is to provide you with the endpoint so you can go in reverse. If you want to buy a house in cash when you're 30 and you're 27, you have 3 years to save up. The goal provides a starting point, but that is all it does. It demonstrates a possibility and allows you to envision what your life could be like if you really put in the effort. It's more like daydreaming with a reasonable probability of success. But you're a smart person who understands that having goals will not get you anywhere. You know that you have to put in the effort, yet work can entail a variety of things. So what exactly does work mean? How can you tell if you're working or just being busy? Here is where the inputs come in. We describe inputs as a form of work that anyone can undertake in any given situation, and this work has a set of characteristics. The first is that it is binary, which means you either did it or you did not. There is no middle ground. You can't do it half-assed. You want something to have a starting point and an end point, so that you are not just busy. It must be evident where it begins and where it stops. It's a comprehensive process. Assume you're a content creator looking to grow your following. You can't just push something. Either you do it or you don't. It's easy to slip into the trap of pretending to work or putting things off until tomorrow if you don't have an endpoint, where the input is complete. 2. It is founded in a well-defined process, such as a protocol or a method upon which input is based. For instance, our scripts follow a specific format, and our thumbnails have a specific aesthetic among other things. You must establish and stick to your own process of doing things. This is critical since you don't want to keep reinventing the wheel every day. It's simply not scalable. You lack a process if you have to wonder what you need to work on any given day. Think about writing. Writing is difficult for many individuals, including us, but we always use the same process to make it easier. You begin writing without stopping and then edit. Ideas will ultimately come together. This is true for many other industries as well. Everything has a process to it. If you're starting at an empty Google Doc, a Photoshop page, or a landing page, you're missing a process. So find it. 3. It serves a certain purpose. If you're not just doing anything for the joy of doing it, it must serve a purpose. It must be measured, analyzed, and put into perspective. Otherwise, you will fall back into the trap of simply being busy. To determine whether or not your work serves a purpose, ask yourself this question and be brutally honest. Is this bringing you any closer to your goal? If the answer is anything other than yes, you should reconsider. This encourages you to avoid things that feel good but ultimately give no benefit in the long run. There are undoubtedly some aspects of your work that make you happy. You enjoy doing them, but they may not be important. Tossing them aside or delegating them is difficult, but if you want to come closer to your goals, you must give up some control and focus on the job that benefits the most from your input. 4. It is scheduled daily, with no exceptions. It is the most important thing you must do, and this is where most people fail to stick with it. Eventually, doing the input every day becomes repetitive and boring, especially since you won't see any significant results anytime soon. But it's crucial to stick with it. You just have to continue with it and trust the process. Furthermore, there is another side effect that contributes to the effectiveness of inputs. When you focus on these types of activities, you develop discipline and patience. Anyone who possesses these two qualities is virtually unstoppable. Your goals become irrelevant once you establish this type of routine. You're just set up to achieve everything you desire because the person you've blossomed into is capable and ready. Thank you guys for sticking with us until the end. But before we wrap up today's video, please get yourself a pen and paper as we are giving you homework. You heard it right? Homework. As the world is starting to get back on its feet and return to normal after the pandemic, and face-to-face classes are being implemented around the world, we here in Thrivetastic would not be behind the trend, as today is your first day in class and we will be giving you your most awaited homework, and that is to write 3 inputs. Remember that inputs are actionable physical things that you can do. It's not just thinking, discussing, taking notes, or making plans for the remainder of the year. You will do these 3 inputs daily. It doesn't matter if it rains, if you're exhausted, or if you're not in the mood, if you haven't slept well, or if you're busy with other things. You will do these 3 inputs every day religiously, and we guarantee you will be a new person by the end of the year. If you're up for the challenge, leave your inputs in the comment section down below. And that's it for today. See you around. Thank you for watching this Thrivetastic video. So if you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this awesome Thrivetastic video for you to watch next.